Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Drink with Crazy. What's going on, everybody? Oh, good. Man, this last week has been just knuckin' futz, dude. Can we bring that term back? Because I feel like it does. One, it's funny because it's a callback. What is that from? And two, I feel like it also fits into YouTube guidelines because you're not allowed to swear on YouTube anymore because internet censorship this last week has gone absolutely insane. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some really interesting things that I have seen. Everything, guys. It's nuts. It's nuts. People be doing people-ish stuff. It's vexing. I know, right, dude? People be doing people stuff, man. Right? Politicians be doing politician stuff. People be doing people stuff. What's up with the audio in your shorts? I don't know. Is the audio... What? What do you mean, what's up with the audio in the shorts? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you asking me a question I don't know the answer to? What is wrong with the audio in the shorts? It comes directly from this stream. It's literally like StreamYard just clips it and turns it into a short, and I review it and figure out if it's something that I want to put out as a short. What is the audio bad? Because that's not good. That's not good at all. I don't like bad audio. Bad audio bothers me. Oh yeah, scan your face. Scan your ID. All your info is safe with me. Yeah, yeah. And what's so funny, too, is all of this happens at a time when they're like, oh, you need to give us your ID. Didn't that women's gossip app, the T app, just, like, it had low security, and it basically just gave away all these women's, like, their personal information, their driver's license IDs, like, all of this stuff. It's so freaking funny, dude. And they're like, no. We're going to ask you to verify yourself more online. It's like, dude, come. Like, and here's the problem. Now I heard that the UK is trying to ban VPNs so that way people can't, like, get around, like, the protect the children. You know it would be a really great thing to protect the children? You know it would be a really great thing to protect the children? Telling parents to be parents. Like, it's like, oh, what should we do? Hey, I got somebody over on Kick. What's going on? Hello, Hannah Anderson. Oh, wait, no, this might be a bot. Anyway, we're going to talk about all this stuff tonight. We're going to start off with something I saw on a live stream. So one of my favorite channels to watch when it comes to gaming content is Legendary Drops. And it was so funny watching it. So, not a bot. Hannah Anderson is over on Kick is not a bot. Well, thank you so much. We're going to talk about the gaming, mostly the gaming industry and laws being done around the world that are going to affect that tonight, just so you have the proper expectations, because you're a new viewer and you haven't been here before. Roy's bringing the bots in the house. No. Hey, they said they're not a bot. And by the way, I am also over on Kick as well. So if for some reason that's more your speed, you guys can go over there. I would probably get banned on Twitch because I just make jokes that they don't like. So, can't spell yuck without UK. Right. They're speed running a dystopia. It's wild what they're doing over there. Osborne and Hulk Hogan. God rest their souls, and may the families have a good time. I don't stream on Twitch. No, I do not stream on Twitch because I would get banned. Probably. I don't know. I make jokes that they don't like. I don't. I see so many people get banned over there. I'm like, I just don't even want to try it. But no, when it comes to Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan, I was just like, oh, wow. That, like, that's... Not gonna lie, I actually thought Ozzy was already dead. I want his family to have good... To go through the mourning process in the healthiest way possible. I hope that there's no self-destruction. Oh, this is a bot. Okay, yeah, no, we're totally banning them. They're just like, hey, by the way, like, you can, like, do you need help with your... No, this is dumb. Like, no, we're not doing that. Yeah, we're not. No. Yeah, no, that person's gonna get... No, you're trying to sell me crap. No, Stop. Ugh. Yeah, no. Just stop. You're trying to sell me crap. It's so funny. They're like, no, 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 no. Yeah. Why won't it? Oh, Kick Chat's being stupid. Anyway, I digress. I did. The normalies will happily drag the rest of us into a cyber dystopia if they can't get nicer iPhones. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that they would do that. No, I don't want to reply. Really? I can't. Wow, Kick just doesn't let me just straight up just like ban this person. That's dumb. Oh wow, that's a terrible website. Maybe I'll just not stream on Kick anymore. Anyway, moving on. You are not. I thought I would get banned. Yeah. Don't discriminate, Royce. I will discriminate against whoever I want to. I don't know if you know this, but yeah, that's just how I be. Anyway, so I can't kick people on Kick. Ironic. That's weird. Yeah, usually you just, you do the good old right click on them, and then it's like, oh yeah, just ban this person, and it's not doing that, which is weird. Anyway, but moving on. So yeah, which was weird that like Ozzy and Hulk Hogan obviously both passed away. I think I had less of an emotional reaction to it. I had, in fact, no emotional reaction to him because I wasn't like emotionally attached. Like I like some Ozzy music. It's cool. Like I said, I actually thought he had already died like a year ago. So when they were like, "Oh no, Ozzy died," I was like, "Wait a minute." I don't know. I maybe it was health issues that he had a while back, and I just thought that was yeah, that was a thing. So anyway, it was, but and Hulk Hogan, I remember him being in, like some video games and stuff when I was a kid, but I never really had an attachment. I remember Hulk Hogan was in one of the Three Little Ninjas movies. Do you remember that? Did you guys remember that? The Three Little Ninjas? I love those movies when I was a kid. The first one was really good. Yeah. So it was, I freaking loved those movies. They were so good. As an adult, I think I tried watching one of them and I was just like, oh, this is just not good. I remember one of the kids' names was Rocky. I don't remember what the other two brothers were. It was like three brothers. You guys remember that? I saw a Mercenary Hogan movie on an island. I got nothing. But regardless of my lack of attachment to those celebrities, it doesn't matter. I pray that their families are going through the mourning process in a healthy way. I pray that they have their loved ones around them. I hope that I do hope that people do offer up prayers for them, because I do believe that that's very powerful, especially in the afterlife, regardless of me. But I didn't have the whole like, oh my gosh, like these celebrities died. Like yeah. Rocky, Tom, and Cole. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, Mario Trujillo. Yeah, that's right. Tom was the little one, right? Tom was the youngest. Was Rocky the middle one, and then Colt was the oldest. Dude, I love those movies, man. They were so good. Dude. I love them movies so much, man. Like the Three Little Ninjas. The first one was really, really good. I did like the one where they went to like Japan. And they were making fun of Rocky for like having a crush on the Japanese girl that was showing him like actual like Japanese martial arts. It was so cool. I love those movies. I just super, super fun, just popcorn flicks. Man, I need to track those down and show my kids. They probably won't like them because it just the tastes of this generation are just not the same. But yeah. So anyway, moving on. So I had a lot of yard work to do on Saturday. You're like, why are you talking about yard work when you're talking about gaming? It's important, okay? You got to lead into these things. You can't just go whole hog right away. You got to lead. You got to go into it. You got to tell a story. You got to make people be like, yeah. So anyway, but Legendary Drops is one of my favorite gaming content creators. I actually just came across him in the last year. I have not been following him for an incredibly long time, but I really love what he... yes, F you for making me remember something from 20 years ago. Bro, that wasn't 20 years ago. Go back a little further. It wasn't 20 years ago, bro. You're getting old if dude, if you remembered their names, it wasn't 20 years ago, bro. 20 years ago was 2005. Three Little Ninjas was like 96 or something like that, bro. That's all closer to 30 years ago. Yeah. Oh, I don't like saying that. That just doesn't. Anyway, moving on. He touches grass. Opinion invalidated. I don't touch grass. I cut grass. There's a difference. Well, I guess you have to touch grass, especially when it flies at your eyes at Mach 2 when you're using a weed whacker. Anyway, so I'm doing yard work, and Legendary Drops is like he is one of those streams that like I don't really like watch. I don't like watching a lot of live streams, but he does this live stream every Friday. And one of his, and I was like, man, I got a lot of yard work to do. I need something I could just put on, throw in the headphones, and just go, right? Just go, and I don't have to worry about resetting a video. I just got to go. So I throw on the Legendary Drops live stream, and I'm listening to it, and it's like and he did like a 7-hour live stream, but I think around like the 4.5-hour mark, he goes to gaming, and so I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm interested in his conversation. I don't really care because I'm not watching him play the games, so whatever. But I'm listening. And one of his chatters is like, hey, I'm a law student, and I am actually putting together this like lawsuit or this like petition or whatever the hell it is against Ubisoft. And he was like, can I get it to you? And there were some issues, but he finally got it to him. And he was like, hey, would you react to my lawsuit? And Legendary Drops is like, yeah, I'll do it. Opens up the thing. Things like 100 pages or something like that. He's scrolling. And then Legendary Drops is like, my guy. What? And he's like, okay. He's like, I'll tell you what, because he's a man of his word, but it was really long. And he's like, I tell you what I'll do. I will skim this lawsuit. I'll skim what you got going on here and react to it because you asked me, right? And I was like, cool. I'm down. He's a man of his word. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, it got interesting. And it got interesting in a way that I was not prepared for. So my ears perked up, and let's get it going here. My ears perked up right around this point in time. And Legendary Drops, listen to this. Listen to this. I think I've got the right moment here, but this is such a great, ready?
Solicitation for Skull and
Is that audio loud or not loud enough? Because it was way too loud last week, dude. It was overpoweringly loud.
Bones for pursuant of copyright law, okay, and unrelated to license agreements. And unrelated to license agreements. This is supported by the same disclaimers that are being used when other entities have logos present at the end of their advertisements. See Exhibit 2.
Wait for it. There it is.
I never thought about that.
Ready? This is so good.
When you buy a video game, and when you pay for a video game, when you buy a video game,
so good.
You don't have access to readily available terms of service or end user license agreements until you have already purchased the game.
Okay. Did you guys hear that? Let's back it up a little. Let's
have already purchased the game. And unrelated to license agreements by the same disclaimers that are being used. And unrelated agreements. This is supported by advertisements. See, I never thought about that. When you buy a video game, and when you pay for a video game, when you buy a video game, you don't have access to readily available terms of service or end user license agreements until you have already purchased the game.
Dude.
So the knowledge of you not owning it, or like how they have the language in there to say that you need to delete all copies of the game when they get rid of, when they stop supporting it. all of that stuff is actually behind the purchase, not before it, when those things should be disclosed before point of sale. The problem is that the video game industry, by and large, gets a...
So, I had never thought of that either. And when he said that, I thought to myself, every time I've bought a house, which is twice, every time I've bought a vehicle, which is many times at this point, that how can you, because as far as I know, there are legal protections in place that say you cannot agree. You go rent an apartment, you cannot agree as a customer, as a purchaser, as a consumer, whatever word you want to use, to hand over your money to a legally binding agreement until that agreement has been presented to you and also explained to you. And yet, the games industry has been hiding what they consider legally binding agreements behind the point of sale for a decade and a half at this point. 2 decades. You do not know what you are agreeing to. And in this case, the Skull and Bones thing, because Ubisoft updated their end user license agreement, said that if they decide to take it offline, you must destroy all copies of the game as soon as they get rid of it, as soon as they no longer support it. And supposedly, you're legally obligated to do that. However, you don't know you're legally obligated to do that until after you have handed over your money. That was insane. Like, when he said that, I mean, I'm here swapping batteries in my Weed Whacker. And I was like, wait a minute, I need to sit down for a second and digest this. And I mean, I'm swapping batteries, so I needed some to charge. Dude, this is Ubisoft held EA's beer. Now it seems Nintendo is taking a swig. Think about it. For those of us who have been in the adult world for a long time, and we've had, again, think about all of the things that you can buy, and you have to have a legal agreement with whatever it is. You're always, some guy is always like, this is what this page means. This is what this page means. And if you tell that guy, I need to, and I'm actually thinking of my last vehicle purchase, which we just did a few months ago, found a great deal. And we needed a third vehicle because our other 2 vehicles were like back and forth between the shop. Anyway, long story short, we have a third vehicle as a backup now, right? 1 is none, 2 is 1, and 3 is never enough, right? So, Weed Whacker has battery? Yeah, it's a Milwaukee. Anyway, it's got batteries. Anyway, moving on. But that guy put a bunch of papers in front of me and was like, this is what this paper means. And I sat there and I glanced at it and I read what I needed to. He says, and I said, I need to read this. He can't tell me no. He can't tell me, please hurry it up, sir, because that is a violation of the law. Because I cannot even pull a loan. I can't even secure the funding until all of this paperwork has not only been signed, but also been explained to me in layman's terms. Right? And that's why they're allowed to do that. This basically just says your rights and our rights and how, everybody agrees on stuff. They have to explain it that way. The video game industry is telling you that you are entering legal and lawful agreements with them, but with no prior explanation and after you hand over your money. This is something that I'm wondering if it were taken to court, if new precedent would be set, or if they would just fall back on old precedent and say, yeah, video game companies, you can't actually do that. One of the things that they might say is that, well, but movies, if you buy a movie, it says You can't distribute it. And we're like, that's different. That's different than saying you have to destroy your copy of that media. Because saying that, hey, we're the company, we're the IP holder, obviously you purchasing this is just a copy, right? You don't have the legal rights to reproduce it, sell it, and devalue our product by flooding the market with cheap products. That's very different than saying you have no idea. And not only that, but I think that the Skull and Bones thing was they actually had more of a live service model to it. They had more of that live service model to it instead of just the traditional like single player game, which is something. And he goes into this lawsuit and like reads more of it that was not disclosed in the marketing. Therefore, they're also saying that there's deceptive practices in the marketing if not presented prior to purchase. Yeah, dude, this is wild. I never even thought about this. That right there, just if it's a legal agreement that you're entering into that requires a cash transaction, you have to be notified about that in the US. Am I wrong? Do we have lawyers that can correct me on that? I mean, this is a law student who drafted this. So, and he actually does cover this. He actually covers it again. He hits this point again in this. It takes like an hour to go through. I'm not going to go through this whole hour. I watched this. I'll shoot you guys the link in the chat right now. I love Legendary Drops. I think this channel is absolutely fantastic. This guy makes me want to figure out exactly how I want to do YouTube and how I want to do content in a way that I can produce content but do really like my version of it. Like, and that's why I'm doing the live streams right now. Cause I'm at such a loss right now. Cause I feel like I'm following a lot of people and doing what they're doing. And Legendary Drops started this because he said that like, he thought he could do what Yang Yao was doing, but do it better. And I'm like, okay, well, what can I do and who can I do it better than? And so check him out, please. There's the link. Go check him out. But if a law student is drafting this and stipulating some of these things and then and attacking that point, he also attacks a lot of other points in here. I think it's really 3 hours and 10 minutes to 4 hours and 10 minutes is going to be that golden window where you want to watch where he covers this whole thing. If it becomes a thing. Now, here is, I think, the reason that they do this is because if you hit, I want to purchase, buy, play this game, I want to exchange cash to play this game, and it pops up with a thing. The other thing, too, they cannot just tell you agree or don't agree. Because in the law, you as a layman who is not experienced in legal terms has to be explained by a representative of this transaction, what this exactly, kind of like the layman's version of it, right? And they can also say, and they have to tell you, you can take your time to read it, or you can also have a lawyer present to read it. They don't do that either. All they do is say, here's our terms of service. Do you agree or not agree? You can choose to read it, but that big old button on the screen that's highlighted in blue already is designed to make you, as a consumer, click that button, not read the agreement, hand over, after you've already handed over your cash. You have no idea. You have no idea what you are agreeing to. And when this was said, I was like, damn. Like that legitimately stopped me in my tracks on Saturday. And I was just sitting there and I was like honed in, because going through this and not this entire lawsuit, but like a lot of the major points here, because even LD was like, my guy, dude, like I told you I would react to it, but this is ridiculous. This is a long thing. And you saw that point where he was just like, oh snap. You saw it. I played it for you. It was like, what's happening here, right? That was something that I had never thought about before. LD is solid and often has on Metal Band. Yeah. He's also a musician too, man. He's also a guitar player. You can see the guitars in the background. But no, and I thought that was so crazy that people are finally fed up with this BS that the gaming industry has really been getting away for the last 10 years, but they've obviously been doing it for longer than that. But everybody references the last 10 years because it's been getting bad. It's been getting bad enough that we've all noticed, right? Also, another point, when a company stops producing a product, they risk losing their patent and or copyright. That not if they defend it. That copyright law is weird. I've actually read copyright, patent, and trademark law when I was producing my own music and all that to really understand how that stuff works. And yeah, it's wild. It's strange, but I mean, effectively, yes. But again, to ask they can still own it despite not producing. Yes, yeah, you're right. Just call me insane. But what would this do to the gaming industry? Can you imagine if you go and you buy a game and it pops up and it's like this video explanation, and it's like, you have to now watch a 5-minute video. This would destroy sales in the gaming industry, which is why they don't do it. But legally, they would have to. That you're going to watch this 5-minute video, and what this is going to do is it's going to explain, here's our legal agreement. Here are the hot points that you're going to want to know about before you hand over your money. And you watch that a short video that explains it to you as a layman, because that I believe is required by law. It's got to be, you can have a lawyer look it over, but you have to have at least a layman's explanation. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but they've done it for the houses that I've purchased. They've done it when I rented an apartment over a decade ago. They did it with every car purchase that I've ever made, right? They've done all of this stuff. Even when you go in, like you want to get a credit card or something, there's all this legal stuff you have to read before you actually sign on the dotted line to get like a credit card and get approved for a credit card. Bank loans are the same way. Before you put your name on that dotted line, it's got to be explained to you in layman's terms. You have to be presented with it. How does this affect the gaming industry? If they can no longer just say, oh, you agreed to the terms, this guy is making the claim that I didn't know the terms when I handed over my money, that's illegal. I think this is a really, really interesting point. Wouldn't they just move the click accept to continue towards the store page, though? But it has to be explained. They can't just say click to accept. They can't, because they can't be like, read it over here, and it's in this tiny little lettering over here, and then big accept button over there. That's deceptive. That's deceptive. That's because stuff like that's been done in the past. And so we do have deceptive practices when it comes to legal contracts already in place, already in law, codified in law. So when I heard this, I was like, man, this is so freaking interesting. Because everybody's trying to get into the idea of digital ownership. And it's like, but I mean, video games have always been digital. Yes, they came on a physical thing back in the day. But now I have another physical thing. It's called my computer hard drive. Why on God's green earth does that CD mean anything different than my storage device? Because all the CD was a storage device. You had rights to that copy of the game. You couldn't reproduce it, but you could keep that copy of the game. I still have copies of games that are 20 years old sitting upstairs. I mean, I keep this one here because I use this as an example. My buddy gave this to me because he hadn't played it in a long time. And this is one of my favorite games ever. Fable the Lost Chapters. Love this game. Great game. Guess what? I pop this disc out and throw it in the Xbox upstairs. It still works. And all the disc is a storage device. This is not a physical game. The game has always been digital, but the storage devices have changed now. And they're trying to trick you into thinking that just because the storage device is no longer provided in the store, and many of us have gaming computers and things like that, and gaming consoles have gotten better with their storage, that the storage device on a console or a computer is any different than this disc. It's not. So why is it that I do not have to destroy my storage device here? I don't have to destroy this copy. I don't have to destroy this digital game here if they stop producing it. But I do simply because it's on a different storage device. That makes no sense. That makes no sense in any conceivable manner. I freaking love this. And I love that people are willing to try to protect our rights as consumers and really take this to the nines, because this is something that if I give you my hard-earned money, right? I don't get to buy a lot of games. Actually, believe it or not, I think the last couple of games, my buddy wanted to play some games with me. He actually purchased the last few games that I purchased because I'm on a tight budget, guys. I got 4 kids. I can't play as many games as I would like to. And honestly, when it's super nice outside like this, I kind of want to be outside. I like to be outside. I like to chill in my garage and drink beers and, smoke cigarettes and all that stuff. Like whatever. But especially in the wintertime, like that's my gaming time. Like wintertime, like when she dips under 45 degrees outside, I don't need to be outside. Nope. I don't do cold weather. I've been in cold weather. I've been in negative 25 degree weather when the moisture from my nose has frozen so bad that it ripped hairs out of my face. I don't like the cold. I'm not a fan of it. We go under 45 degrees. Daddy don't do that. So I come down here and I play video games in the wintertime. That's my gaming time. It's weird. It's like I'm not a game. Like I don't sit down and play games because I love being outside too, right? So there's kind of this balance. It's like, so I don't have a ton of money to continuously keep buying these games. And as they keep getting more and more expensive, my kids are getting older and older. And guess what? Kids get older, they start eating more. Kids get older, you still got to buy clothes for them. I still have to do parent shit. I can't keep going out and buying these games that they keep increasing the prices to. And then not only that, I'm less incentivized to want to go out and buy these increasingly expensive games when I find out that I don't even own the copy of it anymore. Simply because the storage device changed. That doesn't make any sense to me. That makes zero sense to me. And I love that people are taking this to these asshats. I only get to buy games on sale. Yep. Be allergic to outside solves the equation. Yeah, I'm not going to be allergic to outside. If I'm allergic to outside, I'm just going to die, I guess. Not just that, they set up a deceptive protection law back when a lot of people could not read and used X as a signature. These are old laws that have been enforced for over a century. Yeah. Games suck so bad lately. Not worth buying. That's a lie. Igor, what's going on, brother? I haven't seen you in a hot minute, buddy. What's going on, Igor? No, games do not suck lately. A lot of them do, but a lot of them don't. I'm looking at Wildgate. If I have the money, I'd like to buy Wildgate for my wife and I, because that just seems fun. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is unbelievably good. I still cannot preach about that game enough. It's absolutely fantastic. Path of Exile 2. I put like 100, almost 200 hours in that. I put almost 300 hours in that game. Path of Exile 2 was awesome. Stupid YouTube doesn't deliver your videos to me anymore for some reason. Oh yeah. I've taken a lot of breaks in the last 6 months. I've taken probably 3 months worth of breaks in the past 6 months. So don't blame YouTube for that. Blame me for that. Okay. That's a me thing, not a YouTube thing. I will own that 100%. So, but no, it's like I said, Path of Exile 2 was fantastic. Space Marines 2 was really good. I super freaking love Power World still to this day. I think that game's great. I'm waiting to see how the Nintendo lawsuit plays out with that. Like, games these days don't suck, and that narrative needs to stop. Okay? There's a lot of games. Just like back in the day, they released several hundred, several thousand games a year back in the day. Guess what? You probably remember 5 games that were released in any given year when you were growing up. And you have this thing in your head that you're just like, gaming was so good back then. No, it wasn't. 95% of gaming has always been hot freaking trash. Right? It's just back then, AAA tended to be better because it was AAA. They had the money. But no, 95% of gaming has always been hot trash. Right? And that's AAA mainstream games suck. Nowadays, AAA mainstream gaming sucks now. Absolutely. I'm still waiting for Jump Ship to come out. I really want Jump Ship to come out. I think that's going to be a super fun game. I don't know why. It looks fun. It looks like something that, me and the people can do. Pareto distribution hits everything. What? Pareto distribution? Whoa, Igor, explain. All hail the Fellowship. Hey, what's going on, man? But again, and you guys know me. I absolutely despise nostalgia, right? I don't look back on the world with rose-colored glasses. I thought about this the other day. My parents had the exact same conversations that my wife and I are having now. Like, right? We're just grown up and we're just in the shoes of the adults now. Rose-colored glasses are stupid. They don't exist. Andrew Knapp for $10, dude. Thank you so much. That's freaking awesome, man. It says, it's a really interesting lawsuit, but I'm afraid a judge will be overly differential to the corpos. Probably throw it out with something like everybody knows. That's how it's worked for 20 years. The difference is I think this guy is filing it in Kansas under Kansas state law. And also points out they may have violated international law as well. So there's a thing there. Thank you for the $10, Andrew Knapp. I'm hopeful. Can I be hopeful? Or are you guys like, please just let me have that just for tonight. Like, we can wake up tomorrow and you can tell me how much, I suck. But just tonight, guys, just let me have that, please. Just one night. Just we'll call this Hope Night. Tonight is Hope Night. Whatever the fuck the day is. Today is the 28th of July. We're going to call it Hope Day. Rose-colored glasses just make it feel good. Okay, so you say this, but unironic. So when I was a kid, my grandmother was sewing curtains for our entire house to help my parents out because we needed new curtains. And my grandmother, that's what she loved to do. And she asked me what color of curtains I would like for my bedroom. And I told my grandma, I was like, oh, I want like a crimson red looking curtain, right? Funny enough, when you put crimson red curtains over your windows in your bedroom and the sun hits it, the entire room goes like pink. And I was like, oh, this is horrible. And I don't know how, but I ended up with these sunglasses at one point in time, or maybe they were safety glasses. I don't remember, but they were red tinted. And I remember walking into my room and understanding how photons worked at this moment, because I look in my room with these tinted red glasses on with this pinkish color all over my room. My room looked normal. I was like, oh, that's how light works. I was like 11. I was like, and I took it off and it was all pink, and I put it back on and the walls looked white again. And I took them off and the walls were like pinkish. And then it was funny. It was funny. God, oh wow, you guys just unlocked a memory for me. Anyway, hopefully these people get sued into oblivion. Super, super awesome. MSA, living in the future. What's after Hope Day? I don't know what's after Hope Day. Yay, science. Dude, it's so funny. Like, seriously, like, just put a color of curtain over your room that like light can go through and turn your room that color, and then get glasses of the same color and put them on. It'll trip you out, man. Like, it'll trip you out. Oh, you know what? I should do that with the kids because we homeschool, obviously. Crimson red curtains. Royce was really an edge. I was not an edgelord. Fuck you. I've never been an edgelord. God, I just like the color crimson. I just think it's cool. I always liked it. It was cool. I disagree. I think nostalgia has a purpose of preserving important stories of the past. Shakespeare would be preserved if people didn't nostalgia the story. Nostalgia is a mournful longing for the past. So people who are so sad about their lives that they wish to return to that time. I have covered this before. And it is actually it's being weaponized in modern media today. You're not talking about nostalgia, you're talking about respect. There's a big difference. Royce, what's going on in there? Yes, the Kenny Rogers chick roaster sign. What? Kenny Rogers chick roasters. I don't know. Like Al Bundy's always looking back at his football years. Oh no. Ooh, that's a. Yeah. So if I put a black light on with sunglasses, I don't want to know what you're doing with a black light, sir. Please keep that to yourself. This is not that part of the internet. This is my stream. Thank you. That being said, Trippy Soul, also known as, what is he doing? Like Dr. Psychonomics now? I don't know. Trippy's trying to unlock like the secrets to the universe or something. Anyway, he's Trippy Soul here. Sent this video to me. He's that 90s anime was a warning. And I have not seen this. So this is going to be, oh God. That was a Seinfeld reference and I don't even do Seinfeld references. A Seinfeld reference. Wait, what Seinfeld? Oh, dude, wow. Okay. God. I haven't seen that in forever. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, Seinfeld reference. Jeez. I haven't seen Seinfeld in forever. I always watched it passively. No, Stop it. All right. So let's check this out here. Actually, you know what? Real quick before we get into this, we are going to share this link in the live chat. Buddy Rabbit's going on, Buddy Rabbit. Hey, buddy. All right. 90s anime was a warning. All right, let's see what Trippy Soul decided to send to me.
90s were a time of change. The computer was becoming our era's defining machine, reshaping homes, institutions, and daily life.
Windows just makes your everyday work easier.
Between 1995 and 2000, the internet surged from 20 million to 300 million users by the decade's end.
Yes.
At this point, something had happened. The physical world began its retreat, and in came a new world, the digital world. When our world was quietly being enveloped by this new one, media and anime especially began to reflect this change. Again and again, we saw a repeated theme.
Okay, where's your money on this being a guy who's really, really kind of up his own butt about like the digital stuff or not? Because I could see this going one of two ways, making a very, very solid point or making it an up his own butt point, and I don't know which one it is yet.
Characters falling into a new digital world. Some of these realms were childlike, others a terrifying dystopia. But that's exactly what we're going to explore. Because though these digital worlds differed, they shared a common thread of collective anxiety. And what I've realized is that these anime weren't just shows, they were warnings. Prophecies that had striking accuracy into our world today, in ways that aren't exactly comforting. So today, we're going to revisit 3 anime from this era to ask one simple question. Just how accurate were they in predicting our future?
I don't know, bro, but you need to talk faster than 30 freaking beats a sec or beats a minute, man. Like you need I usually don't like putting stuff on 2x speed, but I might have to do it for this one.
Before the entering of each show's version of the digital world, whether through a portal or some kind of computer system, we see that in one way, our characters already entered this world. You see, before their reality changes for good, each show's depiction of normal life is strikingly similar. We see a world that is firmly on the threshold of a new age. Thematically, in Yu-Gi-Oh! We see Domino City, something that resembles a near-future, technology-embroidered metropolis, the battlefield backdrop of technology companies infighting, vying for control over the masses. But even the soundscape marks the coming of this new—
Wait, but how is that any different than what companies were doing for 50 years prior? Like, it's like, oh, these new digital tech companies were vying for people. Like, every company has done that. Major corporations have been doing that for over a century. What? That wasn't new in the 90s, dude. Like, this idea was not a new idea in the 90s.
New age in history. In Serial Experiment Lane, the landscape is a cacophony of typing, electrical hum of telephone wires, the monotony of computer fans. This is the sound of information being processed, and it calls out to Lane, whose face constantly holds an obtuse, vacant expression, as if caught in a shamanic trance. Not unlike us, she resembles an infant crawling into a new age, guided blindly, not knowing the pen we've been brought into. So too, when our characters are led into the digital world, they aren't escaping to a new realm or alternative reality. They're stepping into a vision of the future, an inevitable unfolding of the world.
Okay. I'm sorry. If you're gonna use Digimon, which is one of my favorite shows of all time, I have very much let my children know that Digimon is always better and will always be better than Pokemon. You're not going to basically tell me that an isekai, right, which is a genre of story that has been around for a very long time, that took children, right, into an adventurous world, resembled our world with its decay. It was not. It wasn't even developed. It was literally okay, let me give this guy—
They already inhabit. The digital world is not a separate place, but the full awakening to a system that's quietly swallowing everything. But we've spoken at length about this age of—
Okay, he's injecting a lot there. I can't speak. I can't speak on the Lane anime, so that's where I'm gonna have to be. Yeah, Chronicles of Narnia was an isekai where it dropped a bunch of children into a world that was undeveloped and they had to go and beat the bad guy. Like, yeah. Okay. Okay.
clearly defining what it really is. Well, sociologists call this era we live in the informational society. Not just a society where information is valued, it's one where information is the very fabric of society. Put it this way, since the dawn of time, societies have used information and exogenous systems of knowledge to great effect. Like when the formal system of science we created is used to develop tools, which are used to extract materials from the earth. But now, information itself has become these raw materials. Productivity is based on access to data, software.
Hold on.
Now, information itself has become these raw materials. Productivity is based on access to data, software, algorithms, AI digital platforms. Economically, our biggest companies are Google, Meta, Amazon, who don't produce.
Okay. One, he's actually describing entertainment, which has been around for a long time. Bread and circuses, Rome and all that. Have you thought about Rome today, gentlemen? Probably time to fucking think about it, to use that year-old meme. He's talking about methods of entertainment here. Information has always been a coveted item in the world of warfare. If you are actually a student of history, you know that information and the people who hold the most information about the battlefield or about other things happening tend to win the wars, right? Those guys tend to be the more informed people tend to be the ones that win, right? You know, history's written by the victor. Yeah, it's also written by the guy that kind of knew more too. Like, Oh man, I don't understand these systems. Do I need to sleep to level up? I don't know, dude. Yeah, okay. Let's keep going.
Use traditional goods. Instead, they process and sell information. Even physical products are marketed and sold using data analysis. AI systems trained on our information.
Oh, okay, that bothers me. That bothers me to a level. Oh God, what was his name? He was. Oh crap. He's the father of modern consumer psychology. He was the guy that basically made breakfast popular in America. He came up with cigarette marketing and got women to actually smoke cigarettes and make it popular for women to smoke, to double that. Oh God. What's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Why can't I think of his name? It's bothering me. Information. Bernays? Yes, Bernays. Is it Bernays? Is it Bernays? I can't remember. He's like 100 years ago. No, all of the stuff is just literally using models that has already existed. This idea that the stuff didn't exist before. Dude, did you not... Like, were you not around during that time period? Tabloid magazines, things that they would send you in the mail, the way that they would present information to you. Yes, it might have been on a physical media, but it was the exact same stuff. Technology, all it did. Milton, was it? I can't remember his name. I need to, King Trout did a video on him. I would have to go to King Trout's YouTube channel to find it. I can't, he was the guy that marketed cigarettes to like women. He worked on, it was like 4,500 out of 5,000 doctors agree that breakfast is better for you in the morning in order to actually like sell a specific brand of bacon. Oh yeah, it's Edward Bernays. Yeah, that guy. All they're doing is basically using the tactics that he established in the early 1900s. This is not new. Okay, let's keep
as well as our day-to-day lives. Are they not too shaped by these systems? This is the world our heroes live in. And when they enter the digital world, it's not just a new landscape, it's a glimpse into our future. As our world changes, our institutions and even ourselves,
if it's a glimpse into our future and I get to run around with a fucking dinosaur that turns into a metal, like night-looking dinosaur that throws freaking supernovas at people, I'm down. That's a great future.
Or like nodes in a vast network of information exchange. But this new shift brings new fears, new questions like, who controls this information? Can it be used against us? And is this new system...
Wait, you mean the same questions that we have literally always asked when we have found out that governments, corporations, and so on throughout history have hidden information from us, caused uprisings, and literally started wars based off of false pretenses? You mean the questions that we've always been asked? This guy's up his own ass.
The new world, really what we asked for.
Why did you pause again? I didn't tell you to pause.
Well, thankfully, our shows not only hinted at some of these questions, but in a way, they answered them. Once landing on the blue wireframe grid that is the digital world, our heroes soon face the forces that control this new dimension. And in doing so, reveal the forces that control our own world. But what do they look like? Well, as you'd expect, in each show there's clear or inferred reference to giant tech conglomerates. But it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Which offers the most strikingly prophetic vision of the future. Appearing in 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh's virtual world-based arcs are the antagonists known as the Big Five, who are corporate executives for Kyber Corp, a giant tech.
So, do you know where we got the idea of corporate a-holes being bad guys? Just out of curiosity. Maybe the last, 100 years before that were corporate assholes were a-holes. This is so prophetic. They made corporation owners who only wanted to extract money from people to make themselves rich look like bad guys. And I'm like, yeah, but where did they get that idea from? Because it wasn't even new at the time the show was airing.
Company. The fact that the writers chose to use this epithet for the giant corporations dominating the internet long before.
Oh, dude, he could have literally put, why is Facebook not up there? Huh? Why is Facebook not up there? Why is X not up there? Right? Why is Tencent not there? What? Why? Why is Temu not up there? Why is TikTok not up there? Come on. He literally was like, I'm just going to pick the most recognizable things to prove a point that legitimately, to prove this point that it's all this brand new stuff with tech. Why didn't you put, I don't know, what was it, US Oil that Rockefeller owned? Carnegie. Put him up there. Oh, that's right, because the audience that you're watching doesn't actually know about that. So Ford for crying out loud. The guy tried to build his own town, Fordlandia, down in South America. Why not? What was it? The U.S. Fruit Company that started the Banana Wars, where we get the term the Banana Republic from? Why not put them up there? That's right, because you're communicating to an audience that doesn't understand history and is going to watch this and think, oh my God, it's all because computers. It's all because computers, guys. Get bent. They changed it to Chiquita. Yes, they changed the logo to Chiquita. This is hilarious.
Before the term was applied to today's 5 major tech companies, it reveals the exact fears of that era: corporate monopolization.
And he didn't. Finally, he puts the Facebook logo up there. Oh, that's right, because that was the Meta logo. Yeah. Why is Tencent not up there? Sony? Anybody? Okay. No? Okay.
And control. But no one embodies these fears more than the former head of the Big Five, Gozaburo Kaiba, before his son and our favourite anime antagonist took over and turned Kaiba Corp into a gaming company. It was actually a military technology firm, and there's a reason for that. With Gozaburo owning a company that supplies destructive weapons, develops satellites, and even possesses virtual reality technology, it's being made clear that he represents the military-industrial complex.
But how could they make somebody represent the military-industrial complex unless it already existed prior to the show actually become the fuck on, dude? I don't. So why is Tony Stark? I don't know, dude. Yeah.
This is the type of tech tyrant whose power goes well beyond the private sector, offering their digital infrastructure to fuse private interests with state power and attain even greater control.
You mean like Rockefeller and Carnegie did? Or like the US Fruit? Was it US Fruit? Was that what they were called? I forget. They're Chiquita Banana now, but I know who I'm talking about. Oh my God. He is literally talking about this like this is a new concept, and it's not. This has literally been around for the East India Trading Company did this shit. Oh, you mean the thing from Pirates of the Caribbean? No, I mean the actual real company that this crap was based off of. Oh, no. Wait. I swear to fuck if this guy gets to the point where he goes, if this guy says, and history repeats itself at the end of this video, I will give him credit. I will take back everything that I am saying about him right now. Right now, I think this is a guy who has never studied history a day in his life. If he makes a historical reference in this video, because we're only 6 minutes in out of a 16-minute video, and he hasn't said a thing about historical reference or things that exactly like this that have happened in the past. If he says by the end and history repeats itself, I will take back everything that I'm saying. Up to this point, I think that he is probably an ignorant young millennial or an ignorant Gen Zer who thinks that he has stumbled upon the secrets to society.
The military-industrial complex isn't just about building weapons for the state. Their alliance shapes the very systems that govern our daily lives. And while the military-industrial complex gave birth to the internet, today's digital overlords are leveraging infrastructure to expand their reach far beyond what we see on screen. As a recent example, take Palantir, a data mining and analytics company born from military intelligence, now powering federal systems. From law enforcement to the IRS, using behavioral models and psychological profiling, using data to flag people, not just for what they've done, but for what they might do. These are the powers that control this new world. And Gozaburo is the face of this new regime, showing up as a giant head in a purple cloud. So cartoonish and over the top it feels straight out of a pantomime. He resembles the Wizard of Oz, a projection of unfathomable control. So extensive it's...
Buddy Rabbit for $20. Thank you so much, man. If he says time is a flat circle, he's a fart huffer. I need historic citations for this to make any sense, and he needs to provide direct correlation from these narratives to history that inspired those things. I agree. Hey, Bosco Scenario. All is very well, man. Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Seen as laughable. Yet here, there's no curtain to draw, no convenient rug to pull away. This is who controls this realm, and the pantomime has become reality. See, even in the more juvenile shows from this period, like Digimon, they show a strong awareness of the shadowy circles who control this new world. As we see alongside the evil Digimon Vamdemon, who uses Masonic imagery, hinting toward the presence of a hidden cabal shaping our reality. Yet another explicit reference is made when Vamdemon invokes a phrase to break the barrier between the digital and real world. Tion Ukbar Orbis Tertius. This is the title of a real-life short story, in which a secret society invents an entirely fictional world based on idealist philosophy, which eventually begins to overwrite reality itself. Idealism, put simply, is the philosophical view that reality is fundamentally mental, or dependent on the mind. And it's here that we arrive at the next fear these stories explore. If we know who runs the digital world, what exactly is it? While the previous reference that was just made happens to be incredibly insightful...
It's not a digital world, it's literally a communication method. And the people who built the infrastructure for the communication method control the communication method. It's not that hard. This is not that deep. Holy fuck, dude. I almost broke my glasses for a second time.
in answering this, because the idea of an idealist society directly mirrors the structure of our modern informational society that I mentioned earlier, where reality is increasingly shaped not by the physical, but by data, symbols, and systems of thought. You see,
or you can replace all that jargon he said with the information you as a person have at the present. That has always been true. Guess what? Newspapers back in the day used to do this thing called yellow journalism. You know why? To shape your perception of reality based off of how they would present that. Go look up how old yellow journalism is. You're acting as if, like, this is something new, and it's not. Buddy Rabbit for $5. Correlation does not imply causation. Parallelomania, haven't said that word in a long time, requires proof. Bro, Google academics out here making Reddit scholars sweat. Please tell me. Please tell me I'm not. Well, yeah, they're still doing it. Mike has bad knees, which your name still insults me. Every time I read your name, my knees hurt, and I don't like that because I'm getting old, bro. I'm trying not to get old, and I'm doing well. I'm 33. I'm doing well, trying not to get old. But man, there are days I wake up and I'm just like, oh God, this is what it feels like to not be 18 anymore. Anyway, moving on.
The informational society is one where, like we said, the flow of data and information becomes the DNA and lifeblood of society. This is eerily close to idealism, where reality is based on thought, where ideas are more real and impactful than the physical. So, what these shows seem to be saying is that the informational society we live in may end up rejecting the physical world entirely, evolving, becoming a kind of cybernetic idealism. In Serial Experiment Lane, this becomes disturbingly literal. Teenagers begin to unalive themselves, abandoning their physical forms entirely to live inside the wired. But the warning goes deeper, because this isn't just about escape.
I'm sorry. People diving into an alternate reality goes back to people losing themselves into books, novels, movies, comic books, and so many other creations. This is not new because we've changed the medium in which we experience it, which is the digital medium. Like, this has been a thing. Escapism has been a thing, and sometimes chronic escapism, where people want to go so far into it that they literally just try to avoid reality in its entirety, has been a thing for how many years now? Oh God, I fucking hate internet philosophers. They piss me off.
About the fact that this new reality already has its rulers. Those who laid its foundations, bought up the digital land, and shaped the infrastructure before most even knew it existed. And when society is built like this, not on matter but on ideas, on data, images, and constant flows of information, its structure no longer
That's
looks...
That's literally all society has ever been built on! Societies throughout history are built on groups of people who have common values, common worldviews, and they come together and they go, maybe we should put these rocks together and build a city here. What is this guy talking about? Society has always been built on collective and communicative information since the dawn of society.
The same. It begins to look more like a mind, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Because whoever controls this mind controls reality itself.
Like the yellow journalism back in the day, like all of the like the governments that have hidden information from people. How is this any different than the rest of history? God, I hate people who are like, oh, we live in such a special time. No, we don't. I'm sorry. We don't live in a special time. History has a way of repeating itself. Just because you're alive today does not make today any more special than the day that your grandfather was alive when he was your age. Stop it.
Itself. You see, a mind operates more like a network. A network is decentralized.
You mean like a neural network? No, okay.
Made of nodes that are all connected and constantly exchanging. But by consequence of participating in this network, we risk exposure. After all, this network isn't ours. No longer is our security a spatial concept located in certain institutions like a prison or a school, but it now looks more like a mist or atmosphere. Merely living is enough to be surveyed. And this new way of living has even more dreadful implications. It creates what is called a panopticon effect. Being in an interconnected system, we are made naked, but those who watch...
I love how he uses big words for people who have never heard them before in order to try to validate his point where he has provided no proof. All of this has been internet philosophy garbage, and he has not provided any backing information outside of making incredibly loose connections this entire time. I like the part where he said naked. You would, Caro, you would.
Just remain hidden. In fact, this system was long envisioned before the internet even existed. Originally imagined by Jeremy Bentham in his concept of the panopticon prison, due to its psychological effect. And the idea goes like this: a surveyed subject is not just watched, but because they don't know if they're being watched, they begin to monitor themselves. You effectively become your own god, within a system that exposes every detail about you. Where you are, what you're thinking, what you search for, who you
talk to.
That is the only
historical reference that he has given, and he didn't even dive into the full concept.
even what you hesitate to click on. This leverage and power is embodied by Gozaburo from Yu-Gi-Oh! After ending his life and entering the digital world, he realizes he no longer needs to escape. The depths of his power here is now infinite. In this idealist state, control is amplified, where the simple use of one's mind can manifest power anywhere, any time. With an omniscient view of reality enabled by advanced technology, certain companies or individuals could almost become godlike. It's why Masahiro Ira in Lane
No, having a level of information that has been distilled down to you by systems that you have created is not tantamount to being godlike. I'm sorry. When one of these motherfuckers can create a planet in his hand, well fuck, he's godlike. Having a level of information and control over society is not godlike, never has been, right? That has always been a thing.
wishes to merge the barrier between the digital and physical worlds, so that, as one of its creators, he can appear anywhere and wield godlike power. Though this may sound like a dramatic anime plot device, these characters reflect the real aims of various technocrats becoming gods through the digital world. Take Zbigniew Brzezinski, a prominent political scientist and national security advisor to the United States presidents, who spoke exactly of these aims. The impact of technology involves the gradual appearance of a more controlled and directed society. Such a society would be dominated by an elite whose claims to political power would rest on allegedly superior scientific know-how, using the latest modern techniques for influencing public behavior and keeping society under close surveillance and control.
Yeah, that's not godlike power, dude. That's called an oligarchy. And guess what? It's been done before.
But though we've explained how this new world seems to be controlled by powerful, shadowy entities, who have found new ways to grant themselves godhood, we must ask, why on earth would we want to enter this new world? Or if it's inevitable, what should be our goal with it? While further in during their stay at the digital world, each show introduces a new archetype. The cyberpunk, someone who works to free the digital world out of the hands of the tech giants for whatever use they see fit. In Serial Experiment Lane, this archetype manifests.
Is this guy actually saying that the internet is like another plane of existence? Because the way that he is talking about this, I'm like, I don't think he recognizes that this is literally just the modern day piece of paper. You know, how we changed from putting shit on cave walls and writing shit on some stone, and then we're like, fuck, we can look at this paper. Paper's so nice. We write on paper. Paper good write on. And now we're just like, hey bro, I got a digital thingy here. It's just code. We write in code now. Or does he actually think that Facebook is another existence? A place that we can go and Fuck, dude, we're not in the Matrix yet. Maybe we are. I don't know. I don't understand what this guy's point is. I have no idea.
Says the Knights, who, though against the large tech corporations, align with similar goals, attempting to use the digital world as a form of transcendence. It's perhaps Digimon which, surprisingly, has the most sensible answer to this question of what to do. Although Digimon presents a less ominous view of the digital world, warning mainly against viruses through
Okay, if I'm downplaying the internet a little bit, please explain to me how the internet is more than just a communication device. Can it be an addictive communication device? But all it is sending something for somebody on the other end to receive it. No different than a piece of paper was back in the day. It's just easier to be accessed now because you don't have the delay in transfer. We've effectively eliminated the delay in transfer.
The personification of evil Digimon, it nonetheless acknowledges a larger struggle. Rather than depicting a full merger between humanity and technology, it proposes something different: symbiosis. Using tech to enhance our lives without compromising our humanity. Yet there's still an evolutionary angle. Those who fail to embrace the technological advancement risk becoming obsolete. Like the ultimate antagonist, a Pokemon, described in the show as code that failed to adapt and thus become obsolete. A realization which causes a profound nihilism, but perhaps not a false one. Is our world merely a choice between transcending our physical body with tech, or risk becoming obsolete? It's a difficult problem, one mankind has never faced, but it also seems inevitable. What we do have control over is how we proceed. Is the digital world a conduit of transformation? If transcendence presents too many problems, should it perhaps be a tool toward the same ends? Or is this a false question entirely? Is using machines to solve moral problems, or using them as an arc toward a new human ontology, a modern and misguided heresy? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and I'm sure you all have many different answers.
Yeah, fuck the plows that we invented using technology. You know, that was bad, and then, you know, using technology to I don't know, come up with better ideas on how to, you know, ship things across the planet, you know, get things where they need to go. Dude, he wants to hear your thoughts, dude. I'll share this with you guys just out of respect for the channel. That was probably one of the biggest videos that has said, so he's got 8,000 subscribers, and here's the thing is I expect a lot of people to do this with my channel. Usually when I see how little someone's channel is, I usually bow out of it. I don't watch it because it shows that not a lot of people want to subscribe to it. I would say the same thing. I guess it depends on how you define the internet. At its base level, it's just a medium of communication, but what is being communicated? How is it being utilized? Makes it into something more. Like fucking paper. Like newspapers back in the day. I could say that about all of the communication devices that we have used throughout history that have been used to lie, manipulate, and cheat people from proper information. This is nothing new. I don't actually know what this guy was trying to say outside of internet scary. Outside of internet scary, I don't know what dude was trying to say. Buddy Rabbit for $10. Bro, I have no thoughts because he didn't think either. What thoughts? What was the thesis exactly? Was this a meta-analysis of anime and technology? Where was the connective tissue? I don't know, dude. I struggled to find it the entire time. That was a shit ton of armchair philosophy that made zero fucking connective sense. Internet bad and scary. Stay away from it, but not before hitting that like button and subscribing and staying to the end to give me watch time. Redoubt Productions, I love you. Probably in a gay way. We'll find out later. It's fine. Anyway, moving on. That was harsh. That was rough, man. That video's got 90,000 views on it. I wonder what the watch time is. Can I see what the watch time is? I probably can't. That's insane, dude. Yeah, but the whole instant communication is a major leap from paper that takes days or weeks. Paper can't write back to its owner. No. Again, instant communication did change the game, and there is an argument to be made that we as human beings were not prepared for reducing the amount of transfer time that it takes for communication. There's probably a very good argument speaking from an evolutionary biological standpoint, saying that we were actually not prepared for how quickly we were going to transfer information, and a lot of people's brains today are just not used to it and cannot handle it. And thusly, we're starting to see ramifications from the instant transformation. The instant transmission of communication. We are not used to seeing that, and thusly, it may be actually overwhelming our biological brains, the neurological network that we have, and causing a lot of what we see today. There is also an argument to say that because we literally have cameras everywhere, we just now see people for how they actually act in the real world more often than we did back in the day. So the argument is the world actually going more insane, or have we simply revealed, is technology making the world more insane, or has technology just let us see the actual insanity of the world? I'm on the latter part of that. I think the world has been just as insane as it always has been. It's been just as debaucherous, it's just as crazy, but technology has simply just let us see it because, again, that the transmission of communication is so much faster now, right? And because it's so fast, we can just spend more. It's both. I don't know if it's both. It might be. I'm not sure. It might be. But again, words are hard for Royce at times. Still, I see. Yes, I genuinely have no idea what that video was about. And it's armchair philosophy like that makes midwits think that they're smart. And shit like that genuinely pisses me off. He presented, I don't even know what the narrative was. It was a pseudo narrative about how 90s anime somewhat predicted our future with technology, provided no supporting evidence of it, provided a couple of loose things in history that might make it seem smart, never dove into them in any possible way, never actually opened them up at all, explained them to the audience, simply said, this is a concept. By the way, the most basic form of this concept is this. And if you think you're being watched, you're going to correct. And that means that you're in the system. It's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, dude, like, yeah, generally when people think that they're being watched, they're not going to do this. I'm sorry. That's why when people want to do dirty things, they usually go to a room that's out of sight of other people. Ugh! It's almost like when you're not being watched, you do different shit than when you are being watched. What a fucking concept. God bless America. I do it in public. I love Trippy Soul to death, but some of the videos that he sends me just drive me over the cliff. Because it's this mentality of I understand something that you don't understand. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, that's just because you're not on my level. You know, the best teachers on the planet are people who can explain highly complicated issues and highly complicated concepts to 5-year-olds. That video hurt my brain a lot. Very much so hurt my brain. I love Trippy to death. I do. I love Trippy to death. He is one of my favorite human beings, unironically. He and I do not have the same view on content that we like to watch at all in any way. And oh man, it's so many of these other stories that I wanted to cover tonight, but I also think I have to get up. I think I got to be at work at like 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow because the boys are starting early to beat the heat. So I did not realize that video was going to take as long. Maybe I'll cut some of these videos up, get them prepared, and I'll do a second stream this week. What do you guys say? So isekai equals the internet. Yeah, basically. Hey, Justin, what's going on? What do you guys say? What do you guys say? How's about that? How's about we cut the stream a little early tonight? And then I'll put together some news stories and some gaming stuff. And if you guys want to drop me, stop apologizing. You're not Canadian. And we'll do another live stream later this week. What do you guys say? How's about that? We'll do 2 live streams this week because I got to pee really bad and I hate just leaving empty air. I hate just getting up and walking away and be like, I'll be right back. I hate doing that. That bothers me. And 2, I also should probably start thinking about going to bed because I got to get up early tomorrow. I got to get up at like 3 tomorrow morning. It's gonna suck. I guess I would describe the internet as the sometimes underworld. I would describe the internet as a communication device that people have not learned to equally send information as much as they have received the information. So what we're seeing is we're actually seeing an unintentional imbalance between information between information being received and information being output. And I think that problem there is something that we're going to have to deal with as a society. And I don't know how we deal with that, but I do feel that there is a balance. There is a balance between how much information you can take in and how much information you can put out. And I think a lot of people have not gotten to the point in life where they can just put the internet down. They can just put the phone down for the day and say, I'm done. I just don't care anymore. It's part of the reason that I got to a point where I listen to like a lot of like comedy podcasts and stuff like that, like the Unsubscribed podcast, all that stuff, because I think it's really important that sometimes you listen to something and you're not taking in information. You're just there for the jokes. You're there for the lulls, right? But yeah. Or weekend. We'll see about the weekend thing. May not do that. I don't know. I might get dragged into helping some people, but I do like this. I like the Monday night thing. What do you guys think? Monday nights? Are Monday nights all right? Yes or no? Tell me, chat. Oh, this video hurt my brain. That video also hurt my brain. The beer is also hurting my bladder. I need to go to the bathroom. Very bad. Unsubscribe. It's wholesome, man. It's actually mindless. I love it. It's not wholesome. They say some things on that show that are definitely not wholesome. Monday night good. Monday night good. Later, y'all. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll be back later this week. Let me pick a good night. I don't know what night it's going to be. Maybe pick a good one. Maybe like Thursday. Maybe Thursday. Cut this live stream up into a couple of videos. Release that. Do some shorts from it, and then we'll see about what we do for Thursday. Maybe Friday. No, not Friday. Friday is not a good night. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It'll be all right. Oh, thank you. Guys, thank you all so much, by the way, for the super chats tonight. Thank you. I cannot describe how much I appreciate you guys for that. So, drink mead, Royce. I gotta find a good meat place around here. Not only that, money's tight and meat's expensive. Beer is cheap. Beer is cheap. So is talk. That's why I like to talk a lot, because it doesn't cost anything. You heard it from me. Talk a lot because talk is cheap. And in this day and age with the economy and inflation, we need cheap things. So keep talking, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, until next time. Cheers, everybody.